Hello, welcome back to the Reading Mama. My name is Heather, and today I have a tag video for you. I was tagged by Alma at Alma's Book Journey. I finally got your handle, Alma. And it is the Prairie Trail Tag. And you know, a lot of you are reading prairie books for August. I am not. It's not my current obsession, so I am not doing any of the prairie things, but the prairie tag is fun, and I put all the prompts down below if you want to join. You do not have to be tagged, just join in the fun. But this was a little trickier, and I like it because it's got some unique prompts. So let's start with the first one. So first one is stocking up and starting off. I'm trying to look at my little thing here. If you have to go on a trip today or maybe tomorrow, what 2 books would you be packing to go with you? So these are the books that you are currently reading. I'm going to give you my physical because I always have audiobooks going. But right now I am in the middle of Suspended in the Stars by E.A. Hendricks, which is a sci-fi, I believe it would be classified as a space opera. I don't know. I'm still working on learning all the genres. But this is by a Hoosier author. I'm a Hoosier, so woohoo. Also, she is has a little blurb at the front saying that she grew up watching Star Trek Next Generation and loves Jean-Luc Picard, and that's me, hands down. My dad was obsessed with Star Trek. He was a real Trekkie, and I loved certain Star Trek versions, but I just felt like it was a kindred spirit when I read that. I was like, oh, I'm gonna love this whole series. I'm going to have to get the whole thing. But what is unique about this one is it is a circus in space. Okay, that's how we start out. And so we have our 2 main characters, and I love the colors of this, but I don't like covers with people, but the colors are beautiful. Anyways, so we have a high flying kind of thing. We kind of got the Greatest Showman kind of vibes going on here because she's doing the trapezes and all of these things. And then there is a military guy who is trying to get off planet, and he sneaks aboard their ship, and she's trying to help him escape. Things happen. There's a lot of political intrigue going on as well, romanticy, and it is just fun and sweet. And I've had a lot of laugh out loud moments. I've really loved it. I kind of see where it's going, but that's because I read a lot of sci-fi and YA fantasy, so, you know, it kind of follows patterns, but I'm really loving it. I'm also in the middle of Dawn of Doves by Abigail Breyer, which I have talked about on here before. It is a chunker. It is book 2 in an epic fantasy series that is not finished. This series is finished, and it's following so many characters I couldn't even begin to tell you. You need to read book 1 to really get the gist of it. But it is a Christian epic fantasy, and it's beautiful. It has some really great allegorical kind of things going on where we have light magic and dark magic, and you have so many characters and so many political. I mean, there was kind of a romance thing going on in the first one and the second, book 1.5, and I'm sure there will be some in here as well. But it's not a romantasy, guys. It is epic fantasy, and so I'm really loving it. So those are my physical books that I'm in the middle of right now. Prompt number 2 is Injury and Disease. What health and wellness, nutrition, nonfiction book has been most helpful or informative for you? And I know that there's probably a better one than this because I have a lot. I mean, I think I've gotten a lot from the library and done a lot of audiobooks, so I'm sure there's probably one that I reference more, but Rosemary Gladstar's Medicinal Herbs. A few years ago, I got very interested in naturalistic healing and things like that, and so we don't issue all traditional medicine, but we do try to do it naturally first if we can. And so Rosemary Gladstar, her website, her books are just phenomenal, and this particular book helps you learn how to grow the different herbs and things like that. I am not the greatest. I don't like teas, and I won't buy alcohol to make tinctures, so like, you know, I use half the things. But I do feel like this is very informative and a great place to start, and so I really love that. And that would be a very prairie-ish kind of thing to know. And then number 3 prompt is Wagon Repair. What is there a book you own that is very popular, in very poor condition, or has been repaired? And I have my Bibles, and I know I'm copying Alma here, but this is my new Bible I got last year because I wanted more space to be able to write notes because I annotate in my Bibles. And this is my this is my old Bible. This is the one I take to church and things, so it's still kind of falling apart, and it's got pages that are torn and pages where kids have scribbled on them and things like that. But this is actually my second Bible. My older Bible, my oldest teen uses, and it is literally falling apart. It's not only the binding coming off. When she was a young toddler, she tore out several pages. So like, if you want anything between 1 John and Revelation, it's not in there. And it's just, it was very well loved, but she likes using it because it's like the thin one, and so this is just like slightly beefier, and then this is like super beefy. And so those are my ones that are falling apart and look a little tattered. Not like some people's, I know. Yeah. Then prompt number 4 was, what author, genre, or titles do you specifically look for when you're browsing through used books? So this is like your hunting. When I go hunting, I look for sci-fi and I look for fantasy. And I look for middle grade historical fiction. Historical fiction in general is big for me because we actually incorporate it into our school. And so I do buy a lot of that, historical fiction and autobiographies or biographies. So I look primarily for that. But if I'm looking for me, I'm looking for clean sci-fi and clean fantasy is generally what I'm looking for. All right, prompt number 5, cooking over a campfire. What is your favorite cookbook, website, or vlog? And I use a lot of websites, but I am going to share this cookbook because my kids, except for a couple, there's like maybe 2 or 3 things in here that we have not loved, but they're phenomenal. My kids had food allergies, mild food allergies, not anaphylactic, but it caused a lot of digestive and emotional and a whole bunch of skin issues and stuff. And so for, I want to say 7 years, I had several kids who were wheat, egg, and dairy free, which is basically Whole30. Only they could have sugar. Excuse me, I'm getting over a cold. And this from Autumn, Autumn Michaelis. Her website is Whole Food for 7, I think is what it is. Yes, wholefoodfor7.com. And they're just phenomenal. And I went ahead and bought her cookbook because I've always used her recipes and loved them. She has a mock Chick-fil-A chicken that is dairy-free, egg-free, wheat-free. Phenomenal. Some of these do have egg. So, you know, keep that in mind. But she has, oh yeah, here's the one we love. This creamy cilantro lime, creamy jalapeno chicken with cilantro lime rice or cauliflower rice is phenomenal. My kids who don't even like spicy food are like, when are you going to make that again? Because it is so good and it's so quick and easy. There are just so many good recipes. And since they fit a big, wide range of dietary restrictions, it's phenomenal. Just kid approved. My kids love them. My husband, who doesn't like gluten-free, dairy-free kind of things, he will never choose that. He will eat everything that I've made from that cookbook. Just phenomenal. All right, then it says prompt 6 is fort or town restocking. Where do you source most of your books? Thrift books. Thrift books used to be phenomenal. They're not the best prices anymore. I can often find things on Amazon cheaper than I can on thrift books. And we don't have, our library sales are not great. Our Goodwills are, and so I don't do, and our half-price books, again, are kind of like thrift books are, so I do a lot of shopping. I always check thrift books first, but then I compare it to like Amazon or the publisher site because you can sometimes find it cheaper there. And so that's, yeah, it's a whole process. Number 7, grief or loss. What books would you be most loath to part with if you were ever forced to downsize your library? Oh, I didn't pull a book for that one. I didn't see that prompt. What would I be most loath? I don't know. Oh, I don't know. There's a lot of them. I don't want to lose any of my books. It would probably be some of my, probably be my new Anne books. I've been getting the ones, and I'll try to share the Tundra covers. They're beautiful, and so I would be really sad to lose those. I mean, books are replaceable, so it wouldn't be the end of the world, but I would be pretty loath to lose that. And then, oh, here it is. I found it in a free library, a Little Ben-Hur that was published in 1880. I mean, what? That's over 100 years old. And so, yeah, I would be loath to to lose this. Old books I think are really neat. I have several old books that I keep just for display for the kids. And I let my kids look at them occasionally, but we do have a binner that they can actually use. And this one is just Mama's special copy because it's an over 100-year-old book. We also have a first edition of Freckles by Gene Stratton Porter that somebody just like gifted to us in a random box of stuff. I would be kind of loath I would be sad to lose those because I think they're special. I think it's neat. I love having these little old books and seeing them and knowing that they've been around for that long. This one has clearly been loved during all that time. And so it's a really beautiful copy, but I don't let my kids who do read Ben-Hur for school, I don't let them use this copy. And then let's see here. River Crossing. What is a book that always refreshes and encourages you, or a book that you return to again and again? Well, I obviously return to my Bible again and again. But I wanted to give you a different option since I use Bible for one of my other prompts. And so this is Treasuring Christ When Your Hands Are Full by Gloria Furman. And it is the best. My husband is always checking with me because I think his Amazon account now says that we've bought this like 10 or 12 times because every time I go to a baby shower, this is the book I get for our mom. I also get a book for baby, but I always get this for moms because it is small. It is bite-sized little nuggets of encouragement in the Word. And Gloria Furman is just a phenomenal author in encouraging you, not just encouraging you with platitudes and good words and things like that, but with getting you in the Word. Like, it is so scripture rich. And her other books I have to really like read and then like sit and contemplate, and it takes me a long time to get through them because they're so deep and so theologically heavy and beautiful. They're magnificent. This one is still theologically sound, but it is not quite as heavy, and it is just beautiful and wonderful. 9, Desert Crossing. What is a dry, boring book you couldn't wait to finish, but you did? My goodness. How should we then live? So I'm not going to say it's boring. Terribly sorry. I'm not going to say it's boring, but it was not what I expected. This, as you can see, but you can see I did audio for the last bit because I was struggling, but there's a lot of great information. I have all these bookmarks of things I would like to talk about. It is more politically and theologically deep than I was expecting. I was thinking more devotional Christian living. That's not what this is. This is heavy, very, it's deep, man. It's deep. And it was one where I had to really focus to read. How Should We Then Live by Francis Schaeffer. And I never had the time to just like focus and read a whole chapter. Like, that rarely happens in my house. And so I was struggling and dreading to pick it up because it was like, I have to get in the mindset and get in the mood and then not have interruptions for, 30 pages. That doesn't happen here very often. And I definitely can't read that heavy at bedtime. I'll fall asleep. So, I still love it. I'm glad I finished it. Maybe someday when I have a little bit more mental bandwidth, I could go back and read it more in depth and get more from it. But yeah, it was a heavy drive for me. Mountain Crossing. What is a book that you have read that was very heavy, either in page count, weight, or subject matter? Well, I am almost through. If we want to do page count of Monte Cristo. So you can see I've made no progress this month, but I'm getting there. And so that would be my heaviest as far as page number, probably. Though, yeah, I think so. But heavy in topic would be Torture for Christ. There are a lot of books I've read that are really heavy topics. And I talk about those in a lot of things that are fantasy and sci-fi and historical fiction. And I have a lot of heavy topics. But this is the one that popped in my mind because I was talking to my husband about it last night. Torture for Christ by Richard Wurmbrand is an autobiography that tells about his life in communist Romania after the Russian or USSR regime took over. And he was a Lutheran minister who truly knows the Lord. He trusts in Jesus and being the ultimate saving power, not by works. And he was punished for that. He would not step up to the statewide church. And so he and his family were repeatedly imprisoned and tortured. And why I love this book and recommend it to anybody who can handle the graphic nature of it is that throughout, his theme is not to hate, not to want revenge, not to seek, I don't know, not to seek your vengeance or anything like that. It is love the people and hate the sin. And that's what he says over and over. It's not that I hate the communist. He says, I hate communism that teaches people to hate, but love the people. Over and over, love the people. Even when he's being tortured, love the people. He'd make a deal, like, you beat me up, then I can go share the gospel. Okay, that's their deal with some of his torturers. It was very heavy. It's very short, and it is a phenomenal read. And if you can handle the graphicness of what was inflicted upon him, then I encourage you to read that. All right, and then it says, choose your ending. You have died of dysentery. Hand over the reins to 3 booktube channels that are new to you, or 3 booktube besties you hope will be your next door neighbors, meaning you have arrived in Willamette Valley. Well, I don't know. I'm pretty new. I've only been on YouTube for about a year and a half. So everybody's kind of new. So I don't know if I have dysentery or if I made it, but I'm going to tag 3 people at the bottom, and thank you so much. I guess I should tell you who I'm going to tag. I don't know who I'm going to tag. I don't like tagging people. I feel like then they're forced. So if I tag you, join if you want to. Don't feel forced. And if I don't tag you and you want to, join in. So thank you so much for watching, and have a blessed day.